They call me the queen of visibility. But what actually made me the queen of visibility? I want to share today 5 life lessons that made me who I am today, that helped me turn the tables, that took me from the point of being very disempowered, feeling very out of control, to actually creating my reality, to taking full responsibility where my life is going as much as I can, and of course enjoying reaping the benefits of financial security, for be feeling fulfilled, touching lives, touching thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives. And this is the list of my life lessons, and I hope that you will find some sort of value. I'm sure you will find value in them. So let me start. The very first life lesson is not to tolerate anything in life. And that brings me to the concept of the difference actually between coping with things in life and tolerating things in life. And I learned this from a leadership coach by the name of Dusan Djukic. And Dusan Djukic, he is a coach from Texas. He's an amazing straight line leadership coach. So his book, Straight Line Leadership, I highly, highly recommend. And I read the book, and one of the chapters was about the difference between coping and tolerating. When you cope with something in life, those are the things that you can live with, maybe, I don't know, maybe you have a dog next door, and sometimes when it gets excited, it barks when daddy comes home. And this is something we can cope with. Or maybe on the other side of the house, there is another dog, and it just keeps barking all the time. It barks at night, it cries, and it's not the dog's fault, it's the owner. It's the owner who leaves it in the garden on his own. The dog is sad, the dog is scared, he's lonely. He wants some comfort and he wants some company. And this is why he cries. But I don't want to tolerate this. It's not about crying dog, but I don't want to tolerate his owner treating him this way. The difference between coping and tolerating is when you feel like something affects you so deeply that it starts causing resentment, it starts causing negative emotions. Like, for example, in my case with that neighbor, I felt heartbroken. Every time I heard that dog cry, and I didn't get annoyed, I got heartbroken. Because I knew that it was this cruel human behind this whole situation. And this is something I don't want to tolerate. So I don't want to tolerate being around people who are cruel. I don't want to tolerate being around people who are hurting each other, or who lack integrity. I found at some point in my business that I was surrounded by people, and I was working with people who were completely wrong for me. They would be people who were doing things that I stood against those things. I was working with a hunting store, and I am against hunting. I took that job, that gig, out of this mindset of lack, because I needed money, and I took a client, and I didn't even allow myself to think. But really, in the long run, I thought I will just tolerate whatever they do. It's not my business. But that's not how life works. When you're tolerating something that deep down you disagree with, deep down it's causing you grief, this will show up in resentment. This will show up sooner or later in a conflict situation. And eventually it did at a Christmas party, when we started discussing, hunting and this whole thing behind it, like, why would you go with the gun against an animal who doesn't have a gun? Yeah, those kind of things. Let's not talk about this too much, but that's just an example. I didn't want to tolerate with working with people who treat the staff in their businesses like dirt. This is something that's just not what I want to be identified with. I don't want to live in a place that has no culture. I can't cope with it. I can't, and I don't want to tolerate this. Tolerating is hurting us. Coping with something is fine. If it doesn't bother you, if it really, really, really doesn't bother you, it's fine. But I've learned that by identifying things that I tolerate and then saying no to them, taking them, like eliminating them from my life, even if it means firing a client that paid me 80% of my income. And I did this, and it was the most liberating feeling. And you know what? I didn't get in trouble, because opportunities, the moment I created that void, the opportunities came into my life, and I just up leveled to an amazing level, because not only I didn't have that person in my life, but I didn't have the energy that tolerating certain things brought to me, right? So that was a huge lesson in my life. And that brings me to another lesson, and this is something that I've learned. And by nature, I was a people pleaser, growing up, and in my 30s, terrible people pleaser. People pleasing is it's like a disease. It really only hurts yourself, and it never really brings any good to anybody, really. So I've learned that it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, it's okay not to take other people's emergencies and treat them as if they're your emergencies. Because they will always, we only care about ourselves. So for us, something is an emergency, but for another person, it's not necessarily. So if I'm that other person, I want to put myself first too, just like other people doing. When you're a people pleaser, you never put yourself first. You put those other people's and their fires that needs to be put up. That's what you put first. But it is okay to say no. It is okay to say no to commitments that you have made before if they don't serve you or no longer serve you. It is absolutely fine to turn around and say that you've changed your mind. It's absolutely fine to say, no, this opportunity doesn't fit my lifestyle, my schedule, my goals, and being fine about it. You're not going to reject another person. This is what I've learned. I always was afraid that I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings by saying no. And yet, I never hurt anybody's feelings except for my own, because by committing to things I didn't want to do, not only I was stuck and I wasn't moving forward, but I also felt, again, resentment because I had to tolerate these things. So saying no is great, and no doesn't need an explanation. No is a complete sentence. I'm so glad I've learned that lesson. It really helped me. It really does, on a daily level, on a daily basis. The next thing is, as well, it's so mind-blowing. Failure. We are afraid to fail. A lot of people are afraid to fail. They're like, what if I fail? What if I do this? They're afraid to start because they think that, what if I do this and I fail and I don't succeed? What will they think about me? Because it all comes down to kind of status. What will they think about me? Or love? Will they stop loving me? And those things are serious. We are always, everything we do is based on our, status and love. Are we going to look good or bad? Are they going to love us, or are they going to reject us? Right? But failure is a miss, because if you need to change a direction, the journey of our life is not like from A to B. Our journey is like this. So it's constantly, there is a constant need to change direction and choose direction, make choices. So there is no such thing as failure, because if you did something and it didn't work out, that means that you have a choice whether you're going to take this direction or this direction, because there is just no road. There is a wall in front of you. This is not a failure. It's simply a change of direction. And that helped me so much, particularly in growing my online visibility. When I started, I did not have like a system. I did not know how to even run the business properly. I was so lucky because I had all my clients coming in through word of mouth, and really, like, I wasn't different from someone who would work for them. I didn't need to prospect. I didn't need to look at my business as a business. I just had all these clients that came to me. But when I decided to become visible online, this became very important. I needed to think about my business as a business. What is the products that I'm offering? What is my value ladder? How am I bringing people through this experience, getting to know me, and then into my business and experience, and then come back to my business, or spreading the word about me, all those things. And so I had to try so many things, and this whole realization that there's no such thing as failure. I'm not failing. I have my goal, and I'm doing things to get to that goal, but it's not A to B, because I don't know, and maybe for me and my audience, A to B doesn't work. I can pay a lot of money to a strategist and they will give me A to B way of doing things, and that could completely crumble, and it just wouldn't work for me, because It's me and my audience and my business, right? And this thing maybe didn't work. And this is why it's so cool and it's so liberating. Nothing you can do, you will fail at. Nothing you can do will be a disaster, because you always can change the direction. Even when it feels like it's a disaster, you still have a choice. So you are in control. And I absolutely love it. I love being in control. It's a great, great feeling. When you feel like you're creating and you're allowing the universe to help you, but you're creating your reality, it is very, very beautiful feeling. And it's changed me completely as a person. And that brings me to the fifth lesson that I want to share with you today. And it is about love. Because love is everything. We create our businesses from love. If you're creating a business from a point of, making money or some sort of other reason, it might not be as powerful. But when you are creating it from the point of love, and it could be not necessarily even love to others and helping others. I'm not going to be talking about this, even though it is very fulfilling. But it's not for everyone. It depends on what makes you fulfilled, right? If helping others makes you fulfilled, yes, you're doing it from the point of love, from not money making, but you're still going to make money. I'm not saying that focusing on money making is bad. It's really, really good. But you're doing it from the point of love because you are helping them, from the heart, right? So when you focus on love in your life, everything aligns. When you focus on love to yourself in business, maybe you like recognition, maybe you want to feel significant, and that's okay too. All those reasons are absolutely fine, but it's still about love. It's about you loving yourself. It's about other people loving you. It's about you loving everything that happens to you. So love is in everything, and when you embrace that and you just allow yourself, be kind to yourself, to the others, and you allow everything to flow from the point of love and not from your thoughts, right? It's from your heart. When you focus on your heart and you start loving your business, loving the journey where there's no failure and there's all these U-turns and left and right and direction. I've taken so many U-turns in my online business, it's not even funny, but this is what serves me, so I'm not afraid. If tomorrow I decide to change my direction, I'll do it again. It doesn't matter. And I love it. And I love my business, I love my life, and I love being happy. I love sharing with you. I love doing video because it gives me the chance to experience this love of sharing, of touching your lives, of also maybe feeling your love to me. Because I like everybody else, I also want to feel loved, don't you? So love is everywhere and everything. And these are my 5 life lessons. And this is what made me the Queen of Visibility. This is why you're watching this for now 12, 13 minutes. This is why. It's about the energy, and the energy comes from never tolerating anything in my life. I'm coping with things, but I never tolerate anything. I say no when it serves me. And no is a full question, and I feel good about it because I choose what happens in my life, right? Failure is a myth. There's only a change of direction. Everything that happens for your benefit. Oh, I skipped it. This was number 4. Everything that happens for your benefit. So when you make a decision, you commit to it. Whatever happens, it aligns, and it happens for your benefit. So this is the very important point. Because when you look back and you see that when you made a decision and you did these little things that maybe at the time it felt very scattered and didn't feel like you were doing something, but overall you realize that everything that happened to you happened for a reason, happened for your benefit, and happened for the best outcome because you allowed it to. And you'll love it. And so the love is number 5. Thank you so much for watching this. And so it all started for me with live video. It all started for me with live video. And all these life lessons that I've learned since I started doing live video because it empowered me to tap into that love. And it empowered me to feel the flow and to start saying, no, I don't want to tolerate this. No, I cannot fail. No, I can connect to people. Everything that I do, everything, I'm committed, and everything that I do aligns. So everything is happening for my benefit. This these are the things that started with live video. I want this for you. I want you to experience this love. I want you to take that empowering step in your life where, yes, you want to get more clients, yes, you want to reach more people, but actually it's here you want to reach first. And video is the best way to do it, because you're going to go through this whole, process of allowing yourself to be yourself, process of accepting yourself for being yourself, process of allowing yourself to speak your truth, like I just did. And that's amazing. That's empowering. So by empowering yourself, you'll empower other people too. Sign up for my 11-day live video challenge and let you tap into your love.